Welcome back to the Vision Writers Program. Get your materials out. Let's get ready. Okay, team. Today we're going to be talking about blocking off lettering, which basically is taking that central tag, the central line of your letter, and building around it to make it into a hollowed out letter that you can go ahead and then fill in with color and outline. What you're going to need is your pencil, an eraser to erase the center. Now you can always use a pen if you would like as well, and that's okay. So what I'm going to begin with, let's start with maybe an R. So I have a very straightforward R. Now if you notice, I'm doing one letter at a time to start. Now the blocking off, you're going to take the line, we're going to build around the line to make our letter. So let's do it lightly. I'm adding a little bit here, blocking off, building around that central line. Now, let's say when you have your letter done, then you're going to go ahead and erase any additional center lines that might be left over. So the next time that we'll do it, we'll do our lines not so dark, but even lighter. So it'll be easier to erase. So I'm going to go ahead and erase those central lines. And I have my letter R. Now, remembering the things that we did before, I'm going to add just a couple of things to show you those little tricks with bits, extensions, and the like. So I'm going to add some arrow here. I'll add an additional arrow. And that, remember we talked a little bit about cutting stuff, so I'm going to chop it. Right? I can add an arrow down here. This will still be part of my letter. Let me erase this little line here. Not that necessary. Okay. Now, one of the keys too, which we'll point out, is you want to draw as light as you can in the early stages, so that you can erase and make corrections later. Oftentimes when we first start, we kind of do it dark, we're kind of drawing heavy, but in the next one, if you didn't do it light, we'll aim to do it light. So now let's take a look at this. And my assistant here did a very good job as well. Want to show us what you got? Lala? Nice. Okay, now let's do this again with another letter. So flip to a different sheet. Nice. So this time you do it a little lighter, okay? Because that way you can mess with it more. This time, let's do like let's do a longer word. So I'm gonna do a somos, and I'm gonna do the tag first. Let's do the tag light. Nice and light so that you can build around it. Now again, with blocking off, consider this to be your central line. You're going to build around this line. So watch as I build around the S. Now also, it's really important to try not to draw too fast, because the lighter lines you do and the slower you do, the cleaner piece can be. Go around this O. What I'm gonna do with the O actually is I'm gonna off-center a line. Let me just show you what I just did there. Make this a little fat on one end, then on the other, okay? Building around those M lines. Again, keeping your lines nice and light. Let's do the other O. How about we do, right, on the other side of it, build around that S. I want to keep it on the paper, so I'm going to kind of bring this line in a little bit. So they'll all stay on the paper. Coming around here to the top of my S. Now, take a look at that. Then you go ahead and you can take your eraser and erase the center lines so that you can see your letters. Now, this all comes back again when we're talking about with a piece. I mean, you're tagged to a piece, but now you're not really using the color at all. You use the color after you've actually built your piece and established your letters. And if you notice, really I just call it like the letters are now hollowed out so that we can see everything. Just a little slice and shift there. Okay. Now let's use this example to do a 3D on. I'm going to do the 3D going downward. So one way I like to do my 3D is I do all my lines first so I can see them clearly. Right? I do all my lines first. And then I'm going to make them meet. Again, draw lightly and slowly. Let's put our line here because I didn't really do that one there. Try not to have sketchy lines. I know in the beginning sometimes people do. I'm going to give you instruction on how to not have sketchy lines as well. It's all about going slow. Now if you notice with this S, we talked about how the 3D disappears on S's, O's, B's, where the curve is. It just disappears right there. So keep that in mind when you're doing your design and how you want to make sure your 3D looks proper. Again, very slowly. Okay, somos. Pretty straightforward. Nothing that crazy going on there. Our fellow artist. Very nice. Very nice. I like these little bits that she's doing. These little things that are her own little style. And then when she's done, she's going to erase the center line and then we can see what's going on. What does that say? Velocity? Mm-hmm. Very good. Mm-hmm. Okay. So now, we're going to do this again. But let's go ahead this time. Let's have the light. This time, let's do something like a little more complicated. All right? Let's build off of one letter. We're just going to do one letter, but let's build off more things from that letter. Right? So this time, I'm going to do a Z. Right, just doing that. Now, before I do anything else, though, I'm going to start building off of the letter. So So I'm gonna make these little designs before I even start doing the letter. Now, if you take a look, the central letter Z, I added a heart, extensions here, a little bit here. Now I'm gonna go ahead and block off the letters. You do this your way and just enjoy yourself. Right here now is some tricks. I'm gonna do some little slice and shift here. Again, building off that line. Okay. Now, you're like, well, what were those other extra lines for? So I'm gonna add some arrows with those extra lines. What about this thing here? How about if I actually built around that same thing, but with a curve this time? Let's bring this down right here. Some heart. Okay. Now, we're doing the same thing in terms of building the letter off of the tag. We're doing the same thing, building the letter off of the tag, and then adding a little bit of elaboration. So now, since you can see what it is without these crossover lines and center lines, I'm going to erase this so that you can see what the final letter looks like itself. And then what we'll do this time is we'll actually outline the letter. We'll outline the letter with a marker so that it even stands out so we can really see. All right? So it's nothing real complicated, but there it is. She added her 3D. Let's see real quick. So she's got her 3D going to the left, 3D, 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 right? And then it says velocity. Are you doing anything else there?
Just putting lines in certain places.
Nice little bits and doodads and stuff. Excellent. Okay, so now let's do it again. And let's add a little bit more. Pick a few different colors for your background that might contrast or bounce nicely on the colors that you chose for your letter. Today, you got to practice building letters off of the tag by using the blocking off technique. First doing your tag, then blocking off around the letters, taking away the central tag, then adding outline, 3D, color, and background. Go ahead and keep practicing this on your own. Have a great time. The letter Z, pretty straightforward. Stretched out a little bit. I put the blue on there with the brick background. An awesome letter N, following the line was originally put down with the beautiful yellow bubbles. Keep playing around. Do the same games, do them differently. You can mix up the formula. Let's see what you got. Welcome to the Vision Writers Program. We'll see you again next time. Keep practicing, keep burning.